Hello, everybody. Welcome into the stream today. Let me get a couple things set up, and I can see we got the viewers kind of rolling in. So as everyone gets in here, let's wait a few seconds before we get started. Let me know how the audio sounds. I was messing around with it for that fun Friday stream. Looks like the microphone's coming in okay. Lighting's a little bad because I have no natural light today, and that's because it's storming outside and pitch black. So I pretty much have lost my natural light that I usually have. That makes this a little bit better. Let's pull this up here so I can check it out here. Alrighty, Space My Name. Welcome to the stream, buddy. Glad to see you're here. Glad you made it. All right, I got it shared out on Twitter. Those posts don't get as many views as they were recently, so that's fine. Let me go ahead and say we're live in the Discord real quick. You're live, everyone. And then we can get started and catch you guys up on some of the updates. And I'm going to close that out so we don't have that in the background. Make sure we're not running anything we don't need to. Yeah, CPU looks okay. It's a little hot. Audio sounds good, but quiet. Did I turn my mic down? Let's see. Yo. Yeah, I'll turn it up a little bit and I'll talk a little bit louder. There we go. That should probably do it. I usually talk a little bit louder, so yeah, that'll do it for you guys. But all right, let's go ahead and whoa, wrong screen. Got to switch it over. Yeah, that's good. I was like, it wasn't on the stream settings, so my stream key didn't go live. That's good, at least. Actually, wait, let's leave this here. I want to go back and switch screens again. Or should I leave it on? Yeah, hold on. Let me go switch that. I had to switch it for Mighty Math on Friday when we were doing our Let's Play. Let me just hide this here. And then let me go here. Sorry guys for the setup. What we want to do is switch our displays. I actually don't know which one it is. Probably this first one. Nope, you guys are gonna go for an infinite loop for a second. There we go. All right, guys, now we're back and ready to go. Sorry for that for a second. I could see a lot of people tuning into the stream. Welcome. Sorry for the slow intro. Yeah, we got a lot to talk about from last week. I've done quite a bit on the game, so I'm excited to show you guys. And we got a lot to do today as well. So welcome on into the stream. We're here to do some game development. If you guys are new, my name is Eli, and I run an indie game studio called TreeFall Studios. We're currently working on the third entry to our puzzle series called Maze, and this game is called Maze Rising Trials. So we're going to be building some new mazes today. I'm going to be showing you guys the hub world changes, some lighting, and all that good stuff. Yo, the Basement Dweller says, yo, welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. Glad to see you today. It's wonderful that you are here. All right, guys, so let's go ahead, before we look at the new level, let's talk about some of the stuff I did at like 2 a.m. If you guys are in the Discord, I was like posting this at random at like 2 a.m. Because I was like, you know what? I'm going to change up how this game looks. Because for some reason, I wasn't really, let's go ahead and maximize this so you guys can really see it. I wasn't really so sold on the brick. I really like the brick texture that we made for the hub world, and you know, I really want to do the ivy on the walls and all that kind of stuff. But what I was thinking is I'll use that for a level set, like an actual level, and I didn't really like it for the hub because the hub, the walls are a little too high, so it tiles too many times, and it's a little noticeable. It doesn't look as clean as the new texture set, the main new texture set for this game. So I said, let's go ahead and take a look at what it would look like if we just switched out the grass and the walls for the stuff that we're using in Maze 1 and 2. And then I went ahead and baked the lighting so you guys could see what it would look like with some actual good lighting in here. Where, you know, we got the darks and the the corners here. We got our blues lighting up here. And I just think this looks so much better. These are some of the pictures I was posting. I can't tell how well it's coming across on the stream. It might not look as good, but yeah, I think that the lights, it lights up these just perfectly. You can see right here. I don't know how well this is. Let's see. Yeah, you guys can see that, I think. You can see how the normal maps are just accentuated from these lights and stuff, and you can just see it definitely doesn't look flat. It looks pretty good, and you can see the lighting has a huge effect on it. We got like from here to this corner, we got like a little bit of a changing hue here from darker to lighter from the sun and all that. And then over here in this corner, like this just looks so awesome. Like this is reminds me of like the blue glow of like a lightsaber or something. So yeah, we got to light this corner up. But yeah, so just for a quick experiment, I thought this looked pretty good. And you can fly around here, and it really it helps the grass, it makes the grass look a little bit better too. I put the other grass in so we could see a little bit more of the the shadows in it. And then also, it was a little bit odd because this wasn't just an instant texture swap, because the sizes and the scales for this texture itself and this texture were like different scales. So I made multiple materials of different tiling sizes, so we didn't have to re-unwrap the whole world just to test it, and it basically fits perfectly. And then the way that we do it, the way that we unwrapped our brick, is it basically leaves one like two giant stones around each little pedestal here for the actual maze entrances. And I don't think that looks too bad. You can see this one has like a little bit of a corner. You know, it'd be kind of cool if there was more, if we go back and change the scale. But you can see that it's still on the same scale with this, because these bricks, these concrete bricks are pretty big. We can go ahead and play the game so you guys can see. But yeah, whoa, that's not what we need. Let's hide this, and let's get out of focused mode, and let's go to maximize, and we'll run it here, guys. So yeah, I think it looks better because these bricks, or concrete blocks, should we say, are much larger in scale. So the tile is much smaller. So it just looks like we're still in a giant world, but it doesn't look like there's just a scaling texture over and over and over. And we're still going to do some more edits to this as well. So I think that it looks better with this, and I believe I'm going to keep it. Also, you guys can see a little bit of the dust particles, how much that adds to the scene and the ambience. It's kind of just floating around in the air. You guys can see them so much better after the lighting is baked, because then you can see the shadows on the walls and stuff. So the particles don't blend in as much. So yeah, it looks pretty good. Yeah, I just think this looks pretty good. So I think this is what we're gonna keep. We still, like I mentioned, I hadn't fixed this. These odd scales over here for all the grass. You can really see it when we have this grass in, because of the shadows and stuff. It's like all warped and junk. So gotta fix that. We'll fix that in a little while. But ooh, I'm gonna fall. I wasn't paying attention. I was just going to show you what this looked like. So I think it looks pretty good. And then we can go down here, and then you can see like it looks pretty cool because it like goes into darkness here. We got to get this orange lighting up these walls. And then you can see like over here, the light is just hitting it. It's like coming in to the walls. So it looks really awesome. And then the bricks fill out this pretty good for jumpable platforms as well. If we decide to change these, we can. We just got to go back into the hub model and switch out the materials and add an extra slot, and then we got to delete the hub and re-import it. But I think for now, this actually looks pretty good. So this is what we're keeping. I just wanted to update you guys. This was my 2 a.m. edits and baking the lighting. It was like 2:30, and I'm like, there's something. I'm just sitting there like baking the lighting. I'm like, is this going to look good? I don't know. The Basement Dweller says 2 a.m. game edits are peak. You're totally right. Blue lighting in dark areas always feels cool. Yeah, I love it. I love the contrasting colors. That's why I like the orange here, because like the orange and blue, like these are complements and they contrast pretty good. So we got the blue cool feels, and that's going to be lighting up some of the walls. But then we're going to have some of this orange glow once we get some lights going on these guys. So it's going to be pretty cool. I also think it looks good up here, by the way, with the lights and the grass in the corner. You can see that this has got like the shadows on it. Let's switch that so we can see better. And yeah, it just looks pretty good. Like these bricks, the lighting looks a little bit different from being up here. It's pretty bright, and you can see this is like in the shadowed side. So looking pretty cool. All right, and then today the majority of our work is going to be building a brand new maze. I already have this whole maze planned out, and I've started it, but we haven't finished it. I haven't finished modeling it, and or I also haven't finished texturing it. So we got to do that today. But just to show you guys a brief little quick overview of it, I'm gonna get lost in this maze before we even get out. There's gonna be a little bitty maze that you start in, and you're kind of like, oh, okay, I'm coming around the corner, and then you look up, and there's just gonna be a never-ending tower, basically. And this maze is gonna be the one that features the launch pads like really heavily. And then you can see you can actually chain these if you want, and you can just go from pad to pad and just like travel up insanely fast. I think this is really awesome. This is like the the third way, like 1/3 of the way up, because I'm gonna keep building this tower like up, and we're gonna be building like big mazes around it. And it's gonna be really awesome. But just already when you jump, that sense of like, oh, you're falling for so long, and then you finally hit the ground, is like, whoa, you can get some serious distance in this game. So different than any of the other maze games, but we're gonna build a sweet level based off this. So I wanted to show you the gist of it in Unity, and I think I'm actually going to, nah, I'm not going to close it. I was going to close it out just to save some computer processing power, but we might go ahead and drop it in there so we can see what the textures look like in the game and stuff. So we'll see there. So yeah, this is where I stopped. I basically have the structure planned out, and then that's what we're gonna go and try to hit today. So it's gonna be fun. I think it looks pretty. I think this one's gonna be really cool because it's gonna be like kind of like a really thin spinning tower with like mazes all the way around it. So yeah, it's gonna be awesome. And thanks for joining into the stream, everyone. I'm glad you guys are still here hanging out. Let's go ahead and get started on some game development. Okay. I'm gonna go to the top mode here, and we really don't have to do this because this is like creating miscellaneous faces. But I think I'm gonna do it instead of just spreading it out by one. And I think I want this to be like 20 or like maybe 10 spaces away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm thinking. This actually only needs to be 5 spaces away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And how many across? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 across. Boom, 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 boom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm hearing a strange sound. I was like, what is that? This might be too big, actually. Maybe not. This might not need to be. If this is like if this is gonna be exactly how I planned it out, then this might not need to be level 3, to be honest. This needs to be a little bit farther into the game because it's gonna get a little bit wild. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or actually, what we can do is keep it like close. Let's go 2 more here. I don't know if you guys can hear that. But the rain is pouring down here now. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, yeah. Now what we need to do is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Shoot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Mm-hmm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that enough? And then I do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now from here, how many do we take? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That should be right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait a minute. One, two, three, four, five, 6, 7. Sure didn't overlap any. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's probably a faster way to do this as well. I am not currently aware. We're going to just do it this way. Okay. Shoot. There we go. Oh. Didn't mean to do that either. All right, let's take this out here. Then let's do this. Boom, ba, ba. Boom. All right. Now what we want to do is 6. This level is good. Oh man, I don't even know how Unity's even gonna render this. This is gonna be huge, guys. In order to get the look that I want. This is actually... This looks like too big. Like we should have gone a little smaller on this first maze, I think. But really, once we put the walls in, you know. Yeah. This is probably faster. We just do it this way. Not that way. There we go. Now these should all be connected. I think I like the face method better. That's okay. Got some like Xenoblade 3 music like stuck in my head. I was like listening earlier. So 76, this would be 80, 90. This needs to be 90. This needs to be 91. Yo, Metgan, welcome to the stream. He says, came to say hi. Good to see you today. Welcome in to the stream. Glad you came to say hi. All right. Don't need to make this one. This maze is not supposed to be too complicated. Let's look at my. I can go ahead and get my UV going in just a little bit too. Just make sure I'm doing this right. All right. There's our floor 2. And we got a lot to do, actually, before this looks good. So I'm going to go ahead and start doing some of this. So we can put some of these images on here. And make sure we can get the tower itself looking pretty awesome. Some of the most difficult parts of these levels is after initially designing them, is texturing them for sure. You could just go by hand and loop a bunch of stuff and, just go ahead and do your unwraps that way. But I like to go ahead and seam them all up just in case, because it makes selecting and fixing things easier for future proofing. Because you never know when we might decide, like earlier, a perfect example is the hub world. We might decide, hey, there is a new texture set we want to use. We don't like this one anymore. We're going to change the theme of the level, and it's actually built on a different scale, and we're going to have to rescale all the walls. Well, if you don't break them up into sections like this, which we're about to be doing, and go ahead and seam off all the different pieces separately, if you have to end up redoing the level, then you basically will have to do everything over again. And it's not really worth that time waste. This is like a little bit of extra work up front, but it saves you in the long run. Because you technically don't have to. Because, this now, and then I double check everywhere. Because now what we do, the way that I've got this seamed up, is like, if I press a certain button, it's going to highlight all of that floor. This one's separated, so it's going to highlight all of that floor. Grab this. You can see we got a problem, and it takes everything. So then I realize, well, I missed a seam there. Obviously, we hadn't gone up the tower yet, but those need to be a seam on the wall. So, that'll seal off that floor. And then when we do it that way, you just click once, and then you can, well, see, we missed a couple here. I double check a bunch because it's really easy even when you're going around a bunch like this, you can see there's a couple that we missed. Was that it? Is this the example now to show you guys? No. What the heck? What is happening? Wait a minute, I just highlighted those. Did I not get that marked seam? Oh, was a real word? Yeah, there we go. So now we can just reselect the floor, and, in the walls, we can select easy by doing loops around. But, I still want to have them all set up into their own little sections, just in case we ever want to change it. We need multiple wall sets, or, what have you. You never know. You never know. And it takes a little bit more work up front, but it doesn't take that much longer, so... Let's go to our materials, and number 1 material, let's turn that into grass. I'm actually gonna have to go searching for this one, I think, because I think it's in the project folder. So give me 1 sec. This one isn't a new one, it's in the old file. Trials. Grass. Where are you, grass? Is this the one? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Whoopsies. Let's go to shading mode, guys. Let's go ahead and get our texture here. Almost clicked on magic texture. It's magic. Ba, 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 ba. All right, so now you can see we got our grass in the right scale here. It's gonna look terrible until we get the walls in. So what we need to do is go ahead and create a new material here. Let's get the walls in. And then that'll start looking good. Daisy Murphy says, welcome to the stream, by the way, and welcome to the chat. Thanks for joining in. I'm glad that you're here again today. Seams are the bane of my existence, lol. Seams are an art in of themselves. You're not wrong, because the way that you lay stuff out, it's much easier. I mean, it's even complicated to lay out something like this, which is very polygonal, very square. All the mazes have a very serious just structure. It's not organic. But even then, it still has its problems, and you want to lay it out just perfectly for the UV map, and so we can get this all unwrapped correctly. But then also, you know, any kind of organic stuff, laying out seams on anything with curves and all that, so much harder to do. So let's go back to our shading mode. It is definitely... I clicked on magic texture that time. It's definitely tough. I understand what you mean. And let's go to open a new one. This should be in our new textures folders. And I think this is bricks for Rising Hub. Maybe this one? Oh no, wrong ones. Those are the old ones. Oh yeah, this one. There we go. And let's go back to our UV editing here. And I believe we're just on a... Whoa. Not like that. Are we snapped to bounds? No. Bum, 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 bum. Yeah, there we go. That's the right scale. I wish there was a hotkey for this. Constraining and snapping to bounds. I think we'll just get them all at the end instead of going in like that. Okay. I mean, we can just go ahead and take a look at this before we keep going and all the art. Because you guys can take a look and see what it looks like here. Because technically, if I just delete this, even though we have an additional model added, we should be able to see it all. Yep. Oof. I don't know why it's so... What is it so reflective for? Oh, wait a minute. I was gonna say, it's creating that itself. I'm like, what in the world? Come on, guys. Silly me. Let's just put it right here. And then we should be the regular scale one. Yep. And then let's go to our materials folders, guys. And let's just take this grass right here and stick it on there. So this is how we can walk around and take a look. Yo, Thomas, welcome to the stream, my friend. He says, what's up, gang? What are we working on? We're working on a new massive level for Maze today. And I showed off the new changes to the hub world. I'm going to get lost in here. So yeah, guys, this is what it's going to look like. It's going to have the regular theme set. It doesn't look right yet because the lighting's not done. We've got some, reflections out of place and all this. But this is going to look pretty cool. We should have these launch pads to where we can get up to our new maze, I believe. Let's see if we did the calculations right. I have this all planned out on exact dimensions. Yep, so it's perfect. So you launch up here, and then you can't make it over that wall, and then you got to enter into this section of the maze, and then determine where to go. Or you're going to go down that way, or this way. And then you got to find the exit to continue launching up the massive tower. So yeah, it's going to be awesome because now you can see, guys, here's the maze we just built. We just did that together. And then once you find your way out, we're going to come back in here and put a bunch more launch pads so we can continue going up. And then we're going to build another ring like this, except for it's going to be even bigger. It's going to be double this side and twice as far out. So yeah, it's gonna be pretty cool. So that's how that looks. So we can keep going back here. Let's go ahead and just, since we haven't done too much, let's just texture as we go. And go ahead and, I don't really know how I'm gonna do the scale on the tower because these are actually incorrect. This should be a scale, instead of 10, which is the normal scale, I think this is, these are 15 apart, they should be. So this is going to be a little long. 15, yeah. Let's just see if I can figure it out real quick, and then we'll go upstairs and do that. So technically speaking, on our current scale, oh, of course, this is in the project still. So for 10, it would be this. Wait, this is gonna be a lot of clicking on and off. We'll straighten them up at the end. So that would be 10. So now we would just need 0.5 on that. And that should get us exactly on the scale with this. And then to line it up with everything, we just need to go ahead and set it back at the bottom. So it's like there. And then, yeah, we'll just have to do that for each section all the way up. But then the weird part will be getting this section, because that will be a small line of bricks that go around. And we'll need to figure that one out as well, because it's actually should be 15 from here to here. Yeah, well, maybe I can just do it this way. I'll probably have to do I'll have to do them like individually like this if we're going to do it that way. It probably needs to be like this. I mean, not like that, like this. But not like that. It needs to fill up the whole thing. If I do it like this, is going to be like a little annoying. Could do it faster if we do it this way. It's not like perfectly on the height either. Yeah, we're going to do this one later because it's going to be a lot of editing up and down to make sure we're hitting exactly right. So, like, I was going to take it like this. Take these guys. Yeah. Take this bottom section. Make sure we're all lined up. Then get these dudes. And now go over here like this. Whoa. Unselect them all, reselect them all, move it to the middle. Scale it evenly on the X. Get rid of this. Times it by what we need. Times it again, what we need. Snap it here. Set. And assign. And now... Oh, yeah, actually. I was going to say, scale the X. Scale the X to the correct. There we go. Now that should all tile correctly, guys. Adds a lot. It's a lot to keep up with because the scales are a little wonky here. They're like 50% larger than the normal wall scales, and then I was doing them two at a time, so we needed to go across on the X, and then we also needed to include this little piece here. So yeah, I'll come around and grab the rest later. This can just get reset. We can put the grass right here. Let's go do the walls upstairs first. That would be pretty cool. Yeah, and then so what we're gonna do up here is we will go and seam up the floors like we were just talking about, getting all the seams. And when we do that, then we can just highlight the floor completely and should be able to get it all in one click, basically. But what we want to do is go back here. It's going to be way easier to tell which lines we have selected when there's no colors on it. So we're going to go here. And we're just going to work our way around from this side, since I started here. And then just go all the way around just on the sides for now. And then do the other side, and then get whatever's connected to the middle. And then that should be a decent loop. And I'm sure we'll miss a couple. You guys can hit the chat and say, whoa, you missed one. I might go a little fast, so I might miss one or two going around the corner. But we'll try our best here to get them all in one go. Like Daisy was saying, the seams, they will get you. They'll get you. Tom got Megan asking Thomas some questions. He said, hey, Thomas Stewart, I was asking you something. Did you hear back from Nintendo by any chance? I don't know if he's still in the chat, but I think that he is still waiting, my friend. He's still waiting to hear back, I'm pretty sure. Nintendo's got lots of people on the hook. I'm gonna have to this week on my to-do list. I'm gonna reapply for Nintendo once again, but this time it's the golden time, guys. I've never applied. I was joking about it with our TreeFall fans in the Discord. I've never applied for Nintendo Switch access using the letter or any of the letter properties, because I'm pretty sure Nintendo hates it. Although it would be really funny if they denied me on every single application I've ever done, and then I try with the letter, and then that's what it took. All I had to do was just pull it out, my secret weapon. So I think we're going to try that. At this point, we've already submitted most of our games, so it's time to try the letter. I think the meme power, cult following, they won't be able to say no. The amount of copies we've sold, it's crazy. I'll laugh really hard, but then I'll also be kind of salty if that's what it took to get in, because I've been like, oh, I could have done that a long time ago. McCann says, well, I hope it's worth the wait and you can get accepted. I got rejected in 10 days. Wow, that's pretty quick. I think my last one, I've been recording them now to see how long they take. The longest rejection ever took was 7 months. They waited 7 months to get back to me one time. But most of mine application processes are 21 days on the dot. It's like they have a 3-week timer that they just let it sit. I don't know if they are just, I don't know how they handle it, really. I don't know if they are just like tired of all these submissions from all us little jokers, and they're like, all right, maybe if we make them wait this amount of time, and then you know, just wait and then say no, and then give them no information whatsoever, they'll eventually go out of business and stop submitting forms, so we don't have to do our job. That's maybe that's one way they're looking at it. Or maybe another way is they are just literally so slammed, and they are constantly just full of applications that it does take them that long, depending on how often people submit. I might go the cynical route and say that there's like a robot dog back there. It's like Wario. He's like yawn, pass. He wants to denied, and he just waits it out. And he's just sitting there doing nothing at the desk for about 4 weeks, and then he'll send it on your way. Thomas says he sent my yeah. McCann says they love rejecting me super fast. And Thomas says I sent mine on the 17th. Oh wow. Same date, Thomas. Got response at the 28th. Wow, you guys submitted on the exact same day and you didn't know that? That's pretty crazy. I don't remember what my last submission was. I have to look at it on my little chart. But yeah, this week before the end of the week, we'll be doing that again. If only I could show you guys that process. If that part wasn't covered on NDA, I'm like, it's still covered on Nintendo NDA, like overall, even though I'm not like part of the Switch portal. You guys can't see the application process, so or else we would do like a live app together and be like, all right, how many views can we get until Nintendo finally says yes? All right, let's go around and see what we are missing on the outside. We're doing pretty good. Now let's go here. Start here, 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 here. Thomas might be able to get through his first try, maybe. I told him not to be too expected on it, but you know, he's got some good experience. And honestly, I think like for Nintendo, I was thinking about this, guys. I think that once they get it in their head that they don't really like you, then you're pretty much like done for. I have talked to a couple devs that got in after a couple of tries, but I think that once you've been rejected enough times, that they're never, it doesn't matter what you send, it doesn't matter because like my last pitch was like pretty good. Like I sent it to a lot of people and everyone said, you know, this looks really good and they'd be surprised if it was turned down. And this pitch versus like when we first started, the amount of money we've made like on PlayStation has changed so much. Like our games have gotten so much better. We've made so much more sales over the years. Like we actually have enough industry experience to talk about, hey, we've sold this much, you know, this should be way more than what some people are selling on the Switch. You know, we would be a perfect fit for the Switch, but I'm pretty sure. I really, really feel like at this point, like it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what I say because even though situations have changed, like I'm almost positive they don't believe it. Like they just say, okay, I'm just making stuff up, you know, because it wasn't like my first submission, you know, 7 years ago that was really bad because I was less experienced. The games looked worse. I had, you know, less experience making pitches, less experience selling games, all that kind of stuff. And like, I'm pretty sure like their minds are set. And like, I've had this thought like that I should just go under an alias and create a fake company with a new logo and like do a brand new pitch from the start and just see if it got accepted and basically the same exact content as what I have on mine. And if they, I felt like if it wasn't tied to the account that's already been denied over and over and over, that I had this feeling that like it would be fine, and that maybe would go through, and then I would be really salty. But that's just me, and that's a conspiratorial hat on. But I have watched Mekan says, I hope they don't approach that way, otherwise we're doomed eternally with Nintendo. Yeah, and Thomas says, yeah, you had like sales figures and everything. It looked really legit. Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, like, especially at this point, like our numbers are when you pitch it to a company, you know, like it should sound legit, and they're not lies. Like it wasn't like lying, you know. It's just like, yo, when we first started pitching to the Switch, that was 7 years ago. Basically, we started pitching, maybe even before that, because we did our first pitch for the Switch like before it came out, because we already knew about it on the dev portal, you know, before it came out in 2017. And I'm like, bro, it's 2023. That's like so many years of selling games and releasing improved games and stuff like that. We're like a completely different company at this point. So yeah, but I have a feeling because like I've heard, I feel like they look out for that kind of stuff because a lot of the times what people have said, I've talked to other people who have made it through the process, and you know, it's like they got approved when they added like a certain thing. You know, when they had a listed a certain type of employee or they had a certain type of qualification at their business now. And I think that Nintendo looks out for that kind of stuff because, you know, a lot of those people give other people advice and they basically tell you what to put on your profile in order to get approved. And I think Nintendo kind of looks through that, and if you didn't have that on your first pitch, they're kind of like they're just putting that on there just to say it. Like one of the things that we put on there, I was like, okay, well, we changed our staff a few times, and I'm like, well, we have a translator that we use now because my wife speaks fluent Spanish, so like I put her in the listing, but I'm like, I don't really think that they believe that those people are actually working at your company. You know what I mean? When you didn't list them the very first pitch, I think they just look at it and they just say, nah, and then they just move it on in the toss bin because like they can't like I don't know what their criteria is, but they can't be judging on content. They don't care about the game. They don't care about the game whatsoever. They say that they do, but they allow like all sorts of stuff onto the shop, so it can't be about the game. There's something that they're looking for in the size of the company, and that's got to be something in the trigger somewhere. But I have no idea. I have no idea what they want. I have no idea what they're looking for. They're probably just looking for the letter, so that's it. All right, guys, we're almost seamed up here, looking pretty good. And let's see. Metgan says actually, if you find a middleman, someone from a company, it can be easy. What do you? Yeah, you mean from? Yeah, because most of the people that got approved, they started listing other companies that they worked with. They just it's like they don't want to see a small company by themselves. They want to see you with a publisher or something like that. As far as I'm aware, and that's nothing. That's all speculation and guesses. That's nothing that they've said themselves. There's no information on the developer portal about any of that, and that doesn't actually give away any of the actual application process. So none of that rambling has anything to do with any kind of NDA stuff on their end. So just to go ahead and throw that out there, because we're talking a little bit about their process, sort of, or just the process of applying. But all that's kind of just public knowledge. They are very strict. You see people post all the time about their denials, because like I'm like I don't know what they look for, because like I sent Thomas this tweet from some guy, some dude on Kickstarter, I think. He had like a successfully funded, let me see if I don't know if I can find it. He had a successfully funded Kickstarter. They had a pretty awesome looking pixel art game. He had like more than 12,000 followers on Twitter. So large audience that would purchase the game, high quality game. Proof of concept was there. They got the money from Kickstarter, I'm pretty sure. Like it was successfully funded. And then he posted, Nintendo said no. But I'm pretty sure that in that Kickstarter or whatever they were looking for, that they were going to say that, they were coming to Switch. So, that's one of the things about going back to Kickstarter. I always thought like eventually if I did a big enough project to stop doing smaller projects, that I might return to the platform one day to try to fund one larger one. And I was like, you can't put Switch as a stretch goal if you've never been approved already before, because if you promise that as a Kickstarter goal and you got a certain amount of money, and then Nintendo keeps saying no over and over, well, you're gonna have to find a publisher. You're gonna have to find one ASAP, and you might lose some money on that. So yeah, just my 2 cents there. But whenever I saw that, I'm like, dude, they deny all sorts of people. Also, public knowledge is, I don't know if you guys know about A Hat in Time. They're a pretty large scale indie. I don't remember who makes it. We're missing one seam over here. Gears for Breakfast, I think is what they're called. But that's like a large team, and they make a ton of money. Their game costs like $30 or something like that, and they sold, I don't know, I think they sold hundreds of thousands of copies, like at least 100,000 copies at first when they were on like Steam and PlayStation and Xbox and stuff. And they literally, I remember them tweeting publicly that Nintendo denied them. Like the game was already out. They had physical deals. Like they have a printing, and they even have a physical Switch printing, and they had already sold over like 100,000 copies. of that like $30 game. And it's a 3D platformer, which is like what Nintendo is like basically built off of. And they still told them no. And they had to go through the process multiple times. The game is on Switch now. It's on Switch, and you know you can play it. But I remember them posting about that and thinking like, "Oh my god, you know that's just it's just unbelievable." Why is that? Why did I have that selected somehow? Yeah, there we go. Let's just go ahead and unwrap this. So I remember reading that, and that was like years ago. So they've been like that the entire time with the Switch, basically. Um, kind of weird, and everyone knows Nintendo is weird. You know, they don't play by the rules. They do their own thing. They're like a very strange company. You know, you don't even know if like is your review being reviewed by Nintendo of America employees or is it Nintendo of Japan employees? We don't know. You have no idea. They don't tell you. Who knows? So it's like maybe you know maybe you're trying the wrong way or they're looking for something else or whatever. Um, but I wish you the best of luck, Metgan and Thomas. Both you guys who are trying to go the Nintendo route. Best of luck, more power to you. And that's nothing to say. That's no foul a thought about Nintendo. I still think Nintendo is like the best developer in the industry, basically, and I think they have a very great platform that's perfect for indie game developers like ourselves. I love Nintendo, and I would love to make games for them again one day, but yeah, I don't know if I don't know if I will. I don't think that this generation, it doesn't look like it's happening. Just to burst everyone's bubble. I mean, I used to get messages all the time, guys. All the time. My audience was completely built. I became a full time game developer built on Nintendo audience, Nintendo fans on the Wii U. And I would get messages over and over because they kept denying me over and over and over. I would get messages, hey, when are your games coming to Switch? You know, we bought every game of yours on Wii U. When are your games coming to Switch? Over and over and over. I would tell Nintendo that. I'd be like, dude, our audience was on the Wii U. It's not like they don't know. I mean, they have all of our sales data on Wii U, you know, so it's like they know how many games we've sold and stuff. And I was like, look, we built our audience. That audience is still there. And most of that audience is not our PlayStation audience. We built a new audience and new fans from scratch. And that was like extremely difficult to do. And we did not make money. We were really making that's why Pitterpot is our least successful game on PlayStation. Because in 2018, my last Wii U game was 2017. In 2018 was my first PlayStation game. And then there was like a bit of a break. And then in 2019, I released like a game. We released like maybe the Perplexing Orb, or and then like in 2020 we redid Maze. And I started redoing like remastered versions of like my Wii U games and stuff like that. All the while like working on new games like Perplexing Orb 2 and stuff like that for PlayStation. And you know, PlayStation at the time, like we didn't have any fans. Like most of the people, like it's pretty crazy. Like people don't understand that like the PlayStation and Nintendo audiences are different. Like most of the people who followed us on Wii U would message us and say, we don't own a PlayStation. We've never played PlayStation. I have a Steam account. I don't like to play games on there. We only like to play on Nintendo. We could buy your games if you get them on Steam. That's the whole reason why. That's the only reason why we ever attempted Steam, because we would just get requests from Nintendo fans to on some of our games if we could put them on Steam, basically. And it's pretty crazy that like there's not a lot of crossover. There are a lot of people who play Nintendo and nothing else. PlayStation, Xbox gamers, they don't really get it. It's like a different style. Like if you're playing on Steam or PlayStation or Xbox, you might have both. You know, most people have just a PlayStation and Steam or PlayStation and Switch, but there's a lot of people, like most of the people who own PlayStations, like I would say like there's a good chunk of them that may also have a Switch. And then there's like the hardcore PlayStation fan base that just plays PlayStation and nothing else. And then like it's the same way for Switch. You know, there's a lot of people that would tell us they only have a Switch and nothing else. So This should be scale Y, but here. Okay. Let's make sure it's all the way around. Is there one that was right, guys? Yeah, that's so annoying. Well, we'll just leave that there, I guess. Actually, let's go back here. Let's just unselect those. Let's get the rest of these. But yeah, so we've gone through some turmoil, let's say, over the years. We were really scared for a while there before we started building up a PlayStation audience. We about called it quits. I did. I stopped for a little while and started doing, a different job, because at first our PlayStation income, like we didn't have a fan base on PlayStation. We didn't really know much about PlayStation. I bought one at the time, to get acclimated to the the environment and like check out the store and stuff. I remember I had a video call with someone from PlayStation like right in the very beginning, and I remember telling them like, hey, we bought a PlayStation, and I had gone through like every single facet of the store. I had looked because Nintendo's shop was way different than PlayStation's shop, and I back on the Wii U days, we would sell. I mean, to get placement in more shop bubbles was highly important. What in the world? There we go. I hate it when they don't go all the right way. But that's okay. We got a couple more off here. This is not really a problem. This is the outside. You'll never see it. But we're going to fix it anyways. But yeah, this is a cool story. So I had looked over the shop placement bubbles. I got distracted. The shop placement bubbles on Wii U were like indie, multiplayer, less than $5 on sale. And the more places that you could show up and be found and be seen, well, the more visibility your game had, the more people would find your game, the more you could sell. And it's the same way on PlayStation. You want to have visibility everywhere you can. So I remember like when I first got the PlayStation, I just spent hours going through the PlayStation store, clicking on every bubble, going down like all the little click trails, trying to find out all the different places. And I had gotten on a video call with someone right when we were doing Pitterpot. And I was like, hey, how do I get into this part of the store? How do I get into this part of the store? What do I got to do? What do I got to do to be featured here, here, and here? And they were like real impressed. They're like, whoa. They basically told me that day that no other developer had ever asked them all those questions, about the store and stuff. And they're like, yeah, they just like they have their own ways to, choose who was in there, and who gets featured in what. And it's different now because, that's PlayStation 4 stuff. And they manage PlayStation 4, and PlayStation 4, we still release new games, and plenty of other developers release new games on PS4 still, but their main focus is shifted to PS5 now, guys. So we got to get there. We got to get on PS5 real soon. But we don't want to leave our PS4 fam in the dust. They have been faithful fans. They've picked up our games, tried them out, enjoyed them, kept us going through the years. And personally, I love my PlayStation 4. Like, I got a bunch of PlayStation 4 games, that, I mean, you can play them all on PlayStation 5, but I feel like PlayStation 4 was a good generation. So got a couple comments here. Thomas says, my guess is Nintendo is afraid that solo devs will lack technical skills required to port to console. I tried to highlight my application that I worked on games previously that were developed for Switch, so I'm familiar with the process. Yeah, that was pretty smart. I remember reading your pitch. Yeah, I took a look at it, guys, for those unaware. Me and Thomas are buddies. And I think that is very, very smart. He did work at a company that worked on Switch games beforehand. I have a feeling he might be able to get through first try. If not, then, he'll join the sad boat with everyone else, with the rest of us. But his application looks pretty strong. Space My Name says, do I need a dev kit to test if my game will work on PlayStation? Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean you can't release a game without a dev kit, and you can't release a game without being a PlayStation partner. You gotta go through and get your company partnered first, and then you gotta submit your game as a concept. But then you gotta have the technical requirements for being able to port it. And I can already tell you, uh, the framework you made your game in, you'd have to build your own porting engine because there isn't one. That's why I asked you when we were talking on Discord if you had done Unity. If you felt like you could port your game over with your code base and somehow get it running in Unity, then your game will work on PlayStation. But yeah, what you've done it in now would be a little bit difficult because there's only a few different options. I mean, Unreal works with it and Unity works with it, and then those are like the official supported options for like middleware for like small developers or whatever. There's some other options. There's some other people who make, you can go through companies. There's some companies out there that will port your Godot games and stuff, but it's because they built their own porting engine. But if you do anything like outside of a main game engine, you're gonna have to come up with your own way to port, which requires reading technical documentation, which you can't get unless you are a developer, and all that. And not only that, but you'd have to learn it yourself just from scratch. Would be extremely difficult to do, I would say. Ah, well, I mean, unless you're really smart, I guess. Unless you're C++ and C knowledge and whatever else, whatever engine code, whatever engine you're using, you could write your own game engine, basically. I mean, if you could do that, then, I mean, to me, that's really hard. I'm like, ugh. I'm like, I could do some object-oriented programming to get the game working, but besides that, guys, I'm like, bruh, I ain't writing no game engine. Well, not yet. Maybe. Well, actually, I would like to do my own game engine, but that's for one day in the future, and I'm gonna hire someone to do that as well. We're not doing that. Scale this by 2. Scale it by 1.5, and then this needs to come up by 2. No, we need to go back here before we do the 1.5. This needs to come up by 2. This is G on the Y2. Whoa, what in the world? Alright, that should just be 1.5. Whoa! What is happening? Okay, we got multiples here. There we go. This should be 1.5. Whoa! What is happening? My scales are all wonk. Wonkety wonk. 0.2. Okay, no wonder. Okay. Scale this by 1.5. And then we go here. And then we get rid of this. We highlight that whole thing, and then we go up to 0.2. Okay, guys, there we go. We are tiling, and it's looking beautiful. This is going to be a long process. I didn't even realize how much time has gone by. Thanks for sticking with me, guys, while we're doing some rambling. These are some game development chats here about business. Okay, let me catch up on the chats. Yeah, some game dev questions and advice. If you guys are game developers in the chat, these will be great for you. Megan Games says, I guess my first stop after Steam will be Xbox. You had worked with them, right? And Space My Name says, I'm registered with Xbox, but I had some in real life stop me before I could get into it. Yes, guys, I am a registered Xbox developer, believe it or not. I do have a game that's officially approved by ID at Xbox, which is a step above the creators program. Usually, if your game gets denied, they will deny your game at Xbox, just like Nintendo denies. They deny most games at Xbox. And when they do that, that is you're given an option to launch on something that's called the Xbox Creators Program. But what that basically means is you don't really get store visibility, and you're not really an Xbox game. You don't have any access to Xbox Live services. You can't do leaderboards, you can't do achievements, you can't do any of that stuff, and you pretty much don't sell nothing. Is from what I'm aware. You pretty much need to get your game to go through ID at Xbox if you're wanting to actually function on Xbox. Oh, shoot. We don't need to do this. We need to do this one first. Scale on the Y by 2 and scale on the Y by 1.5. Sorry, guys. Talking to myself while we do this. And then, yeah, so that's the process that you need to get through ID at Xbox's approval program first. We have Tilting Tiles approved. They enjoy Tilting Tiles. But, however, we are not finished with development yet. Sadly. And that's because, actually, this would be a faster way. We should just do it all at once. And that's because Xbox development costs are pretty expensive, guys. Actually, it wouldn't be for you, Space by Name. We just postponed our Xbox development because if you're porting to Xbox, you're required to pay for Unity Pro, which is $2,040 per person per year before tax. So it's a good chunk of change. And at the time, we had started paying for it, but now I don't really think that it's worth it. I don't know if we'll recoup our costs to pay for another year. I am kind of waiting in limbo for the Unity Ambassador Program thing. Unity has an affiliate program to where you can get Unity Pro on them. And if they'll give me a copy of Unity Pro, because I advertise Unity all the time, YouTube channel's getting kind of large. We're heading on our way to 1,500 subs, and all I do is advertise Unity to everyone. So if they accept my application and they let me come back to Unity Pro, then we'll release the game on Xbox. But outside of that, we shan't. We will not be releasing it, and that's just because I don't think that the money is worth it. From as far as I'm aware, now this is not official, nothing covered on NDA or anything like that. This is not a console wars type of, fanboyism. But as far as I'm aware, from most developers I have spoken to, Xbox is typically the least selling of the consoles when it comes to units sold on Xbox, Steam, or PlayStation, or Switch. It's usually ranking towards the bottom. So it's a big risk when we don't have actual data to tell us how many copies we're going to sell. We haven't built an Xbox fan base yet. We don't have a history on the platform. It's a little bit risky. We have a lot of expenses at TreeFall Studios currently. Life is getting expensive. Inflation is still really, really high. And I took a calculated gamble, and I think it's not really worth the risk to continue pursuing development with how much more money we'd have to put into development time to get it to work. The submission process was pretty difficult, so we didn't get the port finished, and we don't have Unity Pro right now. So, yeah. I don't think it's worth paying that much money to try to get the game on Xbox. Especially seeing Steam sales, I'm like, Steam is difficult to sell games on, and I feel like Xbox is also difficult to sell games on for multiple different reasons. Xbox is they're cultivating an environment of free games where everyone just wants the game on Game Pass. And Game Pass is synonymous with Xbox now. And basically, if your game isn't on Game Pass, you're not a talking point to Xbox fans, because Xbox does not really receive exclusivity anymore. They don't really have exclusive games anymore. There's not like a Pikmin 4 or something like that dropping, all the time on Xbox. So Xbox fans really just enjoy taking time to play Game Pass games, and what games come out on Game Pass is a huge talking point in the community. So that's not something that we would be approved for. You know, we're not a big enough company for that. So then you're kind of just without an Xbox fan base. You don't got the fans for it. Yeah, there's no history there. You got to sell the games outright. We don't have any press connections to Xbox, anything like that. I think it would be very difficult to sell enough games to, you know, not we would recoup our money, but the time development versus profit, we probably would, you know, it would not be worth the time and money. We'd probably lose money. So yeah, that's kind of where we would be at with that. But I would like to do it, to be honest. Like, I would still like to get on the Xbox. We said that the game was coming out. You know, we posted about it and all that because it's been approved. And, you know, when I played my Xbox, I enjoyed it. It's not like I hate the Xbox. But their business development and environment is not exactly the most friendly. So I just don't know if it's totally worth it at this juncture for us because we can't really, like, we experiment a little bit, guys. Um, we we experiment a little bit, and because we have a little bit of buffer room, but we don't have that much buffer room. Like, we did one experiment with the tilting tiles micro challenge, and we sold a bunch. We did, but we didn't sell enough for that little of a price. So we ended up, you know, semi losing some cash there, or basically the time value money wasn't really worth it. So we can't really take another risk and another gamble. Like, we have to have a game that's successful to keep going. And that's what we're doing right now. We're working on Maze. This is a calculated risk because Maze is basically our most successful series outside Perplexing Orb. One of our most successful individual games is Maze Pedestal Trials through Steam and PlayStation. Highly successful. So we're gonna take this game and we're gonna make it even better in all ways. And then after that, if this can bring in a little bit of income, then what we're going to do is we will experiment some more with random things. So, you know, we can take a risk after that, but there's a bunch of reasons. We haven't posted publicly on the TreeFall channel yet, but there's a bunch of things coming down the pipe for us to where we can't be being super risky. We need to be pulling in some healthy dough. So that's what we're working on right now. All right, this is looking good. We're almost done. I can see comments coming in and out of the corner of my eye. I'll get them in just a sec. Okay, so this is now off. All right, now this one's off too. I'm being real too meticulous about this. This game needs to be done like so fast. You guys have no idea like what my deadline is. I'm about to be doing like, forget 12-hour work days. We're gonna be doing some 24-hour work days coming up soon. 24-hour stream. Can you guys stay around for that long? Will we hit our YouTube watch out goal if I do 24-hour Maze stream? Show you guys what it takes to launch the game at the very end. All right. Okay, that's that. Now let's just get this as a grass bottom. There's grass on the bottom, or you know what, we can just, the bricks are fine, to be honest. Let's line up the bricks. The sun is back now. The rain has gone. Just got an, let's see, my phone's going off. Get an email from, yeah, I was gonna say I got an email from Nintendo. I was like, I swear, dude, if they already found me and they need me to pull this stream, that would be like Nintendo. They're like, we heard our name too many times. We don't like how you're talking about us. Get rid of it. Oh god. Alright, those are a little small. What? Oh. Guys, we were literally only doing this to match these bricks. Is that the same scale match? It's not completely the same. I think they're a little too big. Yeah. This is 5 on the height of 1. Yeah, it's fine. That's fine. That's just so literally, so if you fall, if you decide to jump off the cliff and you fall all the way down and you decide to look up as you're falling, you can see that the bottom was textured correctly. That's it. That's the only reason we're doing that. Details, boys, details. Let's see. McCann says we're so poor, and he says I have to do and try to save for PlayStation. Space My Name says I'm with you, McCann. And then he says personally, with my current saving power, it'll be torture. I should be homeless for like a year or something to save enough for PlayStation. Me no likey riskies. Yeah, I mean, you guys could look into what Thomas just showed me. There is a um there's a program that they do. um I need to link it to you guys in the chat. Hold on. Let's see if I can find this. There's a program where they will approve you for a loaner kit, where you don't have to pay for the dev kit right away if you're a new PlayStation company. But the only thing about it is, especially for Space My Name, you're gonna have to your game's gonna need to be in Unity first, or something that they actually can work with, that you can prove that you're gonna get over there. Because you can't apply for this program and make it through without like the game running, on the system. Um, yeah. So this is just the on Sony's website. Thomas sent this to me the other day, and yeah, this is just some ad. Let me put it in here. So that's something that they're talking about where they will let you loan out development kits before having to pay for them. But you still gotta pay for them. But you could make your game first and get some revenue from that. But I don't know how this works. The article's really short because they don't talk about it all that much, because basically you got to go through the developer site to find out. So whatever's in the article is public knowledge, and any questions you guys might have about the article would be probably an NDA. So yeah, because my question would be like, I haven't looked into it, but looking at the article, it doesn't tell you if you have to pay. Because if they're loaning you out, like they're not just going to let you have it for free, and then you go, well, I didn't make enough money on my game, and then let me send it back. I'm assuming you're going to have to pay for it. To me, it's also like a little bit of a gamble. If you're doing it for the first time, I'm like, I don't know, maybe I would just pay for it, you know. But you guys said you don't have the money, so like maybe it's an option for you. Um, Space Money says, "Yeah, I'll have to make a new game first. No worries though. Part of the journey." Mekan says, "Loan like credit." No, it's like no, like they. It looks like they like it's like a loaner kit. It's like it won't be your dev kit, but it looks like they'll let you borrow one to work on a game before you have to pay for it, basically, for a time being, for like a limited amount of time. Um, and that way, you can save some money, because they basically know it's pretty expensive, and they're trying to get more developers into their system. Oh, okay, so they have a countries list on there. Let me open it back up. It says list of supported countries. Oh yeah, yeah. So yeah, you be on your own then if you're still in Turkey. Um, that means you would need to. Let me look. Let me scroll through the countries. Yeah, that means you'd have to pay for it up front. You know, you got to go back to saving some money, I guess. But yeah, he sent me that the other day. I thought that was kind of interesting. You know, something Space by Name. You could look into that possibly. But you can't really do anything about it. You can't even ask them um, about it until you're an actual registered partner. So you got to go through. You got to get past the NDA process first. All the stuff that's hidden, you gotta register your company. You need. I don't know if you have an incorporated company or not yet, but you need to have an incorporated company. It's got to be tax legal. Um, you know, filing a business tax return, that kind of thing. You got to have your own email. A bunch of requirements. It's all listed out. That's all public knowledge, by the way. It's not NDA breaking or anything like that. Nothing I say is NDA breaking on here. It's all public knowledge. That's on the list of requirements on their website. If you go to PlayStation Partners and you follow the link, it'll tell you what you need before they'll approve you to sign up and stuff. That's just a couple of those things. So it's not free. Just to even to sign up with them, like you need to be serious about business. You can't just be like, okay, I'm gonna try it willy nilly, because especially I don't know. You said you lived in the desert, so I'm guessing like Arizona or somewhere, New Mexico, something like that. But in the United States, um, it's not a simple thing to create an LLC. Don't listen to the lies, you know, on LegalZoom or wherever you go. You know, when you Google it online, you need to find yourself a CPA and you need to find yourself a good accountant who's going to actually take care of your business the correct way, because there's paperwork you got to file, there's fees you got to pay for, there's taxes. You can't file a corporate tax return on your own. You can't go to, I don't know, like if you're in the United States, people will go to like TurboTax and file, you know, your 1040s and your personal taxes. You can't do that for a business. Like you need a CPA. You're gonna have to have people that you pay, and you know when you open up an LLC like that, you know it might cost you $500-600 or more just for them to do your work and your tax return every year. So you're talking about there's business expenses that you need to like kind of calculate up front and be like, okay, is it worth paying all this stuff, you know, before I get started, um, before you start going down the PlayStation journey. You kind of need to be serious if you're going to go down the PlayStation journey, because not only that, once you get past all of that, that's something you got to maintain every year. And not only that, you know the dev costs are expensive on top of it. So it's just something to think about. It depends on how serious you want to be. Like if your goal is to be full time, then that's something you need to take care of and look at. But you know, if you're like, you don't really need to do PlayStation dev as a hobby. It needs to be more of a, like you're gonna try to go for it, you know. But you just gotta realize it's gonna cost, you know, some money and some effort and stuff like that. You need to open up your business bank account. There may be fees associated with that, depending on what bank you go to, where you live. I do have a business bank account that has no monthly fees, but you know, on top of that, it's still a little difficult to find um, banks without fees, uh, because man, I'll tell you, they really kill you. Bank fees really kill you. I get roasted on wire transfer fees. Um, so it's unbelievable, because all the overseas payments highly expensive for me at my bank. I'm trying to switch banks right now, but that's a whole nightmare in itself. You don't really want to switch. You want to do your research beforehand. You don't really want to have to switch banks, because then switching bookkeeping, switching over everything, switching over all your payments, bro, that's time and that's money, that's for sure. All right, let me catch your comments. Nevada. Oh, sweet. Yeah, I'll go hiking with you in Nevada, bro. Okay. Megan says weird. If I'm gonna pay full price like you did, they will send me, right? Uh, I mean, yeah. If yeah, I'm trying to understand your question. I think that you're saying if you pay, they'll send. Yeah, I mean, if you pay for the dev kit, they'll send it to you. But I'm assuming. I'm like, I don't know why they wouldn't send it to Turkey. If you're asking about Turkey, you'd have to ask them. I don't know. I don't know any of that kind of stuff. If they don't have a base of operations that where they would send it to Turkey, I don't know. Sole trader for now, but getting ready for LLC, non Gmail, and static IP. Yep, those are the requirements. So basically, those are all things you have to pay for because you can get your internet provider to set up a static IP for you, but that might involve costs. Me and Thomas both went through like VPN services that you pay for. So that's a monthly fee that you got to pay for in order to access their development sites. And then a non Gmail. You can't just have a Gmail, you have to have a website, and then you have to have an email that is like the domain is your website. Like my website is treefallgames.com. So like my email has to be at treefallgames.com, not at Gmail. It can't be treefall at Gmail or whatever. Like those aren't official. So like I pay for the website services, I pay for email services, all that kind of stuff. Like there's a lot of things that you have to pay for, in order just to get into the door with PlayStation. So, and that's all on the website when you guys look up if you're trying to join. So it's something to keep in mind if you want to take the risk. I think it's worth it. Like I pretty much tell you in all my videos, guys, that consoles is where the money is more than Steam. Not that Steam can't earn you guys money. It surely can. I think that you should release your games on Steam for sure, but it's hard unless you have a big audience already and you got a bunch of wish lists. That's what you need to get successful on Steam. Big audience, big wish lists, and Valve to be nice to you and promote you. Matt Gann says, I think establishing an LLC is not even easy, even in Estonia. Same said, my brother had a CPA he worked with. I'll work with them once I'm ready to jump in. Yeah, for sure. That's you definitely need to. If that would be my advice, and this is a personal opinion, and don't take my legal advice for gospel. You got to put that disclaimer on YouTube, not legal advice. We could talk about it on Discord if you're ever curious about how I did all of that. But you would want to get a good CPA and get someone that you can trust, that knows how to manage your business, who can file all your tax forms that you need filed correctly and on time, because that's super important. You don't want to be over here like, yeah, I want to make games and just have fun, and then the IRS come hounding down your door. So don't do that. And I think that's one of the things Nintendo kind of looks out for too. We were just talking about it earlier. Yeah, Thomas said, "Yo, free legal advice." Yeah, whenever I commented that on one of his videos because he was starting to talk about all the business stuff, and I'm like, "Yo, free legal advice." Yeah, but you guys don't even know how many times I've been asked. It's one of the videos. It's on my to-do list, but I haven't made it. So many questions and comments on my how to start a game studio for $0 video were people asking me, do I need to set up a legal company? How do I set up a legal company? And could you make a video on how to do that? And I haven't ignored it. Like it's been on my to-do list. Like I want to talk about it, but you got to be careful about legal advice. Like you got to disclaim, hey, like look, I'm not a licensed CPA. I'm not a licensed lawyer or anything like that. You need to get your own lawyer. You need to get your own CPA. But here is my internet opinion from a guy who's done this before. That's basically all you can say on YouTube. But I do have extensive experience with all that kind of stuff. I have worked many years in a tax firm, actually, with my business degree. So doing all that kind of stuff, we make sure we're doing everything up to date and legally sound at TreeFall Studios. That's for sure. Mekan says, I want to have PlayStation to save my full-time indie thing. Yeah, I mean, like I said, you could make good money on PlayStation. I'm not going to say you can't because, we sell pretty good amount of copies on PlayStation. But like I was talking about in the beginning of the stream, guys, you don't know how much you're going to make because we lost money on PlayStation for years. 2018, 2019, like before we built up our audience, before we started releasing more games, before we started, getting more like PlayStation YouTubers and stuff acquainted with our products. Before we really started learning the ins and outs of the stores and stuff. It was a little bit of a process at first. We were really at first I was like, shocked. Well, you just can't put a game on PlayStation and expect just to sell a lot more than Steam, on average. Like we put a game on PlayStation and like, it sells more baseline than Steam would, but like it takes marketing. Like our baseline PlayStation sales weren't as good as our baseline Wii U sales, basically. Our PlayStation sales are way better than our Wii U sales now. But we have a PlayStation audience now, and we market our games a little bit better, and we do a lot of YouTube videos and stuff that we didn't used to do, that kind of thing. So, just to go ahead and put it out there, like you got to have your marketing plan ready. Just if you're wanting to be successful on PlayStation, be ready to market, guys. Marketing is so annoying, so annoying. It's really tough. Lots of people just don't know how to do it. That is another video. That's my two most requested videos, guys. Are can I show you how to do free marketing advice, marketing for free, and how can you set up your company for free, basically, after I did that free indie studio video. So I do have a marketing video planned, but I'm like, I kind of just waited for years to not talk about that because I was like, we suck at marketing. I mean, I get that I could give you some advice that you probably hadn't heard before or whatever. But I'm like, we're not the best example. You know what I mean? It's not like we have a ton of reviewers review our games and stuff like that. But we have built up some secrets over the years and some things we've learned, what to do and what not to do. So I will make that video eventually to help out you guys with marketing, and I'll save you guys some money because we have done a lot of money spent on marketing. Things that we thought, oh, we'll buy these ads and this will work, or we'll do this will work. Bump that, guys. It barely works. All the money we've spent, like, especially, don't you ever, like, I'll go ahead and spoil your video. Don't you ever spend a dime on Facebook. That's the biggest ripoff in the entire planet. Their ads are not real. Like that, you're not going to make money off that. You're not going to convert to actual sales on there. Don't bother. But yeah, we've tested out lots of different ads, Google, Facebook, social media ads. I've contacted a newspaper once before. You know, random things that you wouldn't think of, maybe that people think are old school. It's like we tried some unique marketing. What am I doing? That's not project from view. So yeah. Let's see. Oh yeah, we got some. Dude, this is crazy because I haven't played your game. I was going to do it over the weekend, but I really was really busy. But I think your game looks unbelievable, dude. The space mining exploration game. I'm like, dude, like I love it. It's like looks really cool. I can't wait to play it. And I can see how people complain about the art or whatever, but I think that art style is like straight up, like it makes it unique. It makes it special. Like I'm very excited to try it out and play it. I'll give you my opinion on it for sure. He said, I tried Indie Boost, Twitter ads, and Keymailer. I think the Keymailer and the Indie Boost stuff is a scam. I have some friends who told me that they tried that. One of my good developer friends, he runs a company called Nami Tinto Mushi. Or, yeah. Nami Mushi Tinto. Yeah, Nami Tinto Mushi. Yeah, it's like Japanese. It's hard to say. He's the guy. We used to make games like on Wii U. He was one of the Wii U developers, so we used to chat all the time back in Wii U. He doesn't really make games as much anymore. I still talk to him on occasion, but he's mostly publishing games and stuff, and not doing his own. He made some puzzle games back in the day. But I think he was telling me to try out the Keymailer and stuff, and I kind of looked into it, and I don't know, the Keymailer thing. It seems I don't know if it's legit. Like from my experience, it is legit, but like my experience, like you're not really. I'm just like I don't really think you guys are gonna get people to play your game, like unless you get people to play your game. Like if they're playing it because they found it naturally because it's viral or because um they know your quality and they know your studio and they're part of your rotation in your list. Because like guys, uh it's like very interesting. Like you got to think about content creators. A lot of them like they care about the games. Like there are content creators that care about games, but this is just real talk, business talk, guys. Not to be busting on content creators, but content creators care about money. They do. They care about making money. They care about clicks. They care about click through. They care about watch time, and they care about their content. And they don't want to waste their time with something that's not going to be making them money. So that's why you see people copying everybody all the time. When somebody makes a viral YouTube video and it gets a ton of clicks and everyone's clicking on it and everyone's liking it and all this stuff, all of a sudden everybody else comes out with videos on that same topic using similar clickbaity thumbnails, all the same kind of junk. And it's the same thing for Let's Players, streamers, whatever. If there's a new hot game that shows up on Steam and someone is getting views on it, those people are all going to follow along to play that game too because they also want the views. There will be some creators that are like actually in it to have fun, okay? That will see the game and be like, "Whoa, that game looks really really fun." But, and then they might play it because they wanted to do it like that. But a lot of the time it's about the money. It's about the money. And if you have like a little indie game that's like unheard of that no one's talking about, there's no reviews, no one's playing it, it's going to be hard to break through to get your first like major streamer, major YouTuber, major person to play it and try it out. And I can tell you, I've emailed tons of people over and over and over to dead responses, no responses. I've had people come who have actually responded and said, hey, I don't have time to play this. I've got people who've responded and say, hey, game looks fun, but I don't have time to play something that's not going to make me money. This isn't going to get me clicks. So if you pay me this amount of money, then I'll play it on my channel, which I didn't have the amount of money to do that. So I said, all right, you know what? I'll just keep doing my free marketing and yelling to the void on Twitter and hoping that, people will download and play the game. So it's a interesting world out there once you start really getting into the marketing side. 135.15 would be 150. Gotta do math real quick, guys. 151. It's getting hot up in here now. The air is not working and the sun is burning me. I'm talking so much. Gonna get the sweat beans on my mustache. Need to get my cold water out here. You guys can see the sun is, coming through the blinds, hitting me good. But yeah, so indie game marketing, man, it is a brutal, brutal thing. And I wish you all the best of luck. For you who take the risk, who say indie game development is what I want to do. There's a lot of good things about indie game development. Everyone wants to chase after the indie game dream. We're doing the indie game dream full time. But I'll tell you what, there's a lot of things that are very difficult and not as fun as you might think. You got to get your business hats on and you got to work hard. You got to play the game. That's the whole reason why, like, some people go for viral stuff. Meme Run, we published that. That was his whole thing, was it being about viral clicks for streamers and stuff, and tons of people played it. But I don't want to make games, most streamers and stuff, they only play stuff for clicks or for views, or they have a certain genre of things that they'll play and they'll try out. But I'm not making games for streamers. I'm making games for me to have fun and for other people just to have fun. So if we never have a huge streamer play the game, then that's okay. That's where we'll be at. Thomas says, what? I thought this was going to be easy. Space My Name says, Indie Boost was a literal scam. $200 gone. Keymailer didn't take my money, but I gave away a few keys with 0 results. Yeah, I kind of felt like that's how Keymailer would be. That like if anyone did play your game, it would basically amount to like no sales. Steam curators distribution thing was actually helpful. Yeah, I haven't really actually had any. I've sent it to a couple curators and like I got a couple reviews from a couple curators in the very beginning, and now I don't even bother doing that because they rate the product as a free review, and like it's good to have extra reviews on Steam, but I noticed that like it doesn't actually count into the calculation of your positive rating. It doesn't count as someone who purchased the game and reviewed it. So it doesn't actually help you get to that number faster of like Valve sharing out your game and other people finding your game faster. So basically, I don't even bother anymore. I don't send them out for free on Steam. I just dump it out and like tell people to give us reviews and stuff. Um, but what can you do? All right, so that's one jump. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think for here. We're actually off just a little bit. Like this, I thought this was supposed to be even. Did I not do this math right? Let me just check this, guys, and then I'll read these comments. Let's see here. This was 76. So we started here. So 75 plus 15 is 90. That's correct, right? And then we should be at what, 105 after that. Then after that, we should be at 120, and then we should be at 135. That should be 150, 165. Oh yeah, this should be 180. There we. Oh, great, guys. Epic fail. We need to select them all. Here we go. Let's pop this up. Were we on local before? Not that it matters. All right, 180. And let's pop this up by another 1. And then we're going to make our new floor of mazes here, but we can go ahead and let's get all this jumps done. Let's go ahead and do these here. And let me grab these comments, guys. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We've just been having a chill game development stream today. Really, really chill, and just answering a bunch of questions related on game development if you guys are interested in becoming game developers. Yes, Metgan says, this is quite enlightening chat. I guess I'll start to look for a full-time job after this. Oh my gosh, Metgan. Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah, you know what? There's some truth to that joke. Whether you want to look for a job or not, that's up to you. But the indie game dream, everyone thinks it's like, I don't know if you guys have seen the indie game documentary. The guys who made Super Meat Boy on the Xbox 360 back in the day, and they sold whatever, hundreds of thousands of copies right away. They worked on it for like 5 years, and then just their entire lives changed, and like they're celebrities, and everyone knows their names, and everyone was playing their game, and all that kind of stuff. That doesn't really happen anymore. And it's not exactly, and you got to watch like that documentary and see like their mental health, and the way that they feel, and how tough it is. Like no one really talks about that and thinks about all that. It's pretty enlightening, and I'm just like, there's some people that will make it, like I mentioned all the time. Like that happens to people like the guys who made Hollow Knight. There's like 3 of those guys, and they sold millions of copies. Huge. It can happen to you. I'm not saying that it can't, but for most people it's not going to, because it's like the whole like NFL thing. Like what you tell your kids, like your kid wants to grow up and become an NFL player, but realistically speaking, it's like 0.00001% of people even would ever have the qualifications to play in the NFL, and like then so many percentages of those people just don't make it. It's kind of like that. You probably, honestly, you probably have a better chance of your indie game going viral than you playing in the NFL, just because of the physical attributes you need. But it's kind of like that to be the Hollow Knight or the Stardew Valley, or the guy who was able to work on a game for 10 years, perfect it, and then release it, and somehow it was just so good, and everything worked out just fine, and everyone bought it and all that kind of stuff. because you could be the guy who spends 10 years on a game and then it doesn't matter. No one buys it. It doesn't go viral. Nintendo doesn't pick it up. No one's advertising it for you. And you spent so much of your life and you didn't make any money. You know, that happens to most people. And you can ask Thomas, you can ask any other game developers out there that have been doing this. Most people that try to chase the indie game developer dream, after their first game, they're out of business. And that's just the cold hard truth. It really is. The only reason I've been in business so long is because I'm like ultra minimalist. Like I really don't live on that much. You know, like we don't buy that many expensive things. I only have a game collection in the back because I've had those games for years growing up. Most of them weren't purchased by me, purchased by my parents when I was growing up. A lot of those games have high value now. Nintendo games have extremely high value. I've bought, sold, and traded. I've made a ton of money flipping, you know, old Nintendo games, all that kind of stuff on the side. Buy physical games, guys. Always buy physical games. Don't you ever download a game unless the game is only available digitally. If it's an indie game that's available only digitally, there's nothing wrong with downloading it. But if you're going to buy a Nintendo game or a PlayStation game or anything like that, buy it physically. That way, you guys, if you don't want it anymore, you can sell it and get some money back. This world is expensive, guys. Yeah, so I mean, I'm living on pretty cheap, minimalist type income. I mean, bro, guys, my game development TV right there, $99. That is a Best Buy brand TV that costs $99 that I bought in 2012. Okay, that TV is now 11 years old, and I have used that to develop and test every game that I've ever made. Okay, you don't have to buy expensive stuff to get into game development, and you don't have to buy expensive stuff. You know, if you're wanting to make the dream work and you're wanting freedom in your schedule, I think it's worth it for the freedom of the schedule. Me and my wife have been able to do a lot of awesome stuff because of my schedule and being in control. I think it's worth the trade-offs. You're not really going to make a lot of money at doing this job, but I think that freedom is kind of worth it. And also, really for me, like one of the biggest things, like my whole thing about game development is like I want to, you know, give people enjoyment. I want them to have fun experiences. You know, I had great experiences playing video games with my dad growing up, some of my best childhood memories. And, you know, I want to make games that other people can smile at, laugh at, play with their family, all family-friendly games, TreeFall, you know, that, you know, it's something else. It's very special when you release a game and then you do get a message and, like, you know, people play your game and they really, really enjoy it. And, you know, it meant something to them. You know, that's, you know, one of the reasons why I do this, continue doing it, because I think it's, you know, I think it's worth it. I think it's a lot of fun. Especially since nowadays, I mean, there's a ton of indie games to choose from. It's not like I'm like, oh, mine are the only games to choose from. But nowadays, in this world and landscape and environment, more and more games are becoming more what we call mature. And Nintendo games are some of the only games just left for general audiences, in my opinion. Sony's like kind of stopped. Like Sony's not making Ape Escape or Sly Cooper or you know, child-friendly games anymore. Really, it's just all God of Wars and stuff like that. So I want to make fun games for everybody to be able to play and enjoy. And when people enjoy it, I think it's definitely really worth it. Let's see what else we got here. Spaceman Name says, I'm all for challenge. I've always been passionate about games, and I want to make games my kids will enjoy and be proud of me for. Wow, that's really great. Well, if that's your passion and you want to do it, you just got to figure out how to do that, but also be able to make money to be able to provide for the kids. And if you can do that, then the indie game dream will be worth it for you. Thomas says, I talk about this exact thing in my video I'm posting tomorrow. Bro, I'm gonna try to be the first one in your comment section tomorrow. You just wait and see. I'm very excited. Spaceman Name says, Thomas, link your YouTube. I can't get to it from the chat window. And then Metgan says, I require just 1K monthly. Guess what? What, Metgan? Yeah, the exchange rate, the way your cost of living in Turkey is pretty good. You can't survive on 1K a month in the United States. Well, I guess you really could if you had to. But you have to have some extenuating circumstances to be able to survive on that. I don't think you could. But yeah. Um, so you have a chance. You have an opportunity living in the country you do. That would be doable with the indie game dream, that's for sure. All right, now these are all tiled up. Space by Name says, I miss Sly Cooper in that era of silly games that didn't take themselves seriously. I try to make my games that way. Oh yeah, Sly Cooper is so good. I do feel like though Sly Cooper does take itself seriously, but in a different. I know what you mean, not in like the serious like cinematic way. Like it was an actual video game. It's not like a God of War cinematic, or, like every one of their other games. It's either Horizon, Days Gone, God of War, third person over the shoulder action game that's cinematic and it becomes highly violent. The Last of Us, you know, all that kind of stuff. I mean, if you like those games, it's fine. Those aren't the PlayStation games that I really enjoy, but some of them are good. Most of them, I think, are not anymore. Um, but I think even as a PlayStation fan, which I am, you got to admit they're starting to do a little bit too much of the exact same type of game. They need to really change it up. But they've fired and shut down all the studios that did anything different. That was one of my key indications where I realized Sony might be going away from the old Sony. When they shut down Japan studio, I was like, bro. First off, the Knack 3 dream is dead. Pretty sad. Pretty sad about that. PS4 though, guys, that's why I still like my PS4 generation. There are some great games on there that anyone can enjoy. Knack 1 and 2. Knack 1 is not really technically that good of a game, but Knack 2 is actually really good. It's fun if you like action adventure platformers. They got Tearaway on there. They have a Ratchet and Clank game remake on the PS4. The PS4 has all sorts of old games. Like you can play PS1 now on there, so you can play Ape Escape 1 and Ape Escape 2 on PS4, which I've done. And they got remastered of old PS1 games like Parappa the Rappa, Patapon, Loco Roco, all those like music-based, happy Japan studio, like all those games from Sony, like those feel-good games. Oh, you can't beat them. Let me know in the comments if anyone has played the game Sound Shapes. This is a Santa Monica studio game, actually. But Sound Shapes, dude, that game is so awesome. It's so cool. So there's some really good ones that you guys can download and pick up on PS4. But I think that, like, as far as the new generation goes, the PS5 landscape is looking a little rough for now. They might surprise me. Although they started off with a good one with the Astrobot. I think he's Astrobot is what he's called. The packing game is very, very cool on PS5. I wish they would make another one of those. That's like their only team that they have left. Like Team Asobi is like what's left from Japan Studio. And like I hope that they make a really awesome new game and get time featured in the sun. And Space My Name says, I work full time as ITPM, so I've got my bills covered. I love to survive on game dev only, though. Yeah, I don't know what does ITPM stand for. You guys were talking about that the other day. It's some dev technical job that I'm unaware of at this point. Sorry. But yeah, no, that sounds good. I mean, yeah, if you're blessed with a good job, then you definitely don't want to give that up unless you could make the game dev stuff work for sure. Okay, now we are textured all the way up, guys, on our giant cool tower maze. We do want to go ahead and get this floor filled in. And here. Let's just go ahead and get a couple of these facing the right direction. Oh, IT project manager. Oh, I had no idea. Did not know your lingo. Sorry, man. That does sound like a pretty good job. Congrats. Huh. Man, we got all these going this way, all this going that way. I don't know if it's worth it to bother fixing all these. Actually, maybe I'll leave the sections like this so it has a little breakup. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Just want to get them when they're like curved one way, the odd way. Yeah, that looks good. Sweet. Okay, wait, one more. Almost done. Didn't get this inside corner. What time is it, guys? We've hit 5 o'clock. What's our uptime? 2 hours. Yeah, we just broke 2 hours. Nice. I'll go for a few more minutes. Guys, if you have, I can see a few of you guys still watching. Any more game development questions, go ahead and leave them in the chat. We'll go ahead and try to hit those before we do our wrap up today. Also, if you guys have TreeFall Studios questions, you got questions about the game, questions about some of our future projects, platforms, any of that kind of stuff, go ahead and leave those in the chat too, and I'll answer whatever you guys got. I'm moving along on my Atari development. I'm looking pretty good at that, actually. Highly excited. I'll let you guys know. I will definitely have some game development videos on that for you guys to show you whether or not it's worth it for you guys to develop for Atari VCS. I know Metgan's got some experience on it, and I'm looking to get my next game out there pretty soon, to be honest. Hopefully in the next couple of weeks, to be honest, because they seem like they're pretty much on it. That when the game build's ready, we don't have too much of a lead time before we can get it on the platform. And I'll tell you what, the other developers that said it was easy, they were telling me that it would be easy to get my game on there, and boy, were they not wrong. It's pretty easy to build and deploy to it. So I'm pretty excited. Although it is a completely different power level. It's not as strong and as powerful as the PlayStation 4. So I'm having a little bit of decimation going on in my game. I'm like kind of taking out graphical enhancements and features to make sure it can run at smooth 60 FPS on the VCS. I've actually done the PlayStation route. I'm trying to go like a performance mode versus quality mode and do a 30 FPS locked high graphics mode and like a 60 FPS locked performance mode, basically. I got a couple more builds to go and a couple more things to test, but then I should be able to get it through there pretty soon. So that's exciting stuff. Yeah. Oh. Sit on foot again. Alright, so I think we're all textured all the way up here, are we not? Alright, instead of continuing, because we're about 5 after 5, you guys will see tomorrow when we build the rest of this, but let's go ahead and take this and put this in the game engine so we can see what we got so far. It's going to look really cool, guys, trust me. We're going to export that. Oh, guys, it might break the computer. Hold on your horses. I clicked on Quixel Mixer on accident, and let me tell you what, will this destroy your GPU and your CPU? We gotta close that down right away while we're streaming. I've tried to stream that. I learned the hard way. That'll crash your computer fast. Trying to run that plus Unity plus the streaming software at the same time. Oh, buddy, don't do that. My computer's pretty old though, so I mean. What in the world? We're gonna have to copy you. Start you over. Is it just on 000? Would you look at that? But yeah, I think Quixel's a little expensive on the calculation, shall we say. we are going to need to do a couple things. Let's go ahead and do this. Let's generate our colliders, generate these. Let's clean this up just for this last test build. I'm not ending the stream just yet. We're gonna play around with this. We're gonna build these launch pads, and we're going to, oh, not that one. Where's our grass green? Greener. That's better. And we're gonna go see how this looks and stuff so far. And I mean, all of these jumps should be doable. I tied this all to the grid, so even these. So everything should be just right. Once again, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I've been having a blast. Definitely just a chill stream. Got more advice and the game development chat going on this stream than TreeFall chatting about the game and some of our game plans. But I'm excited for you guys, especially you guys who are fans of our games, who've picked them up and played them in the past. Our new TreeFall Studios Developers Conference for this year is the announcement's going to come up soon on the date on when we have it actually planned out. And I've been working on planning out all the game reveals and stuff. I mean, obviously you guys are watching this live and you've seen a little bit of Pitterpot live. So you guys know what's coming. You guys know what's coming for some of the things, but you don't know about all of our surprises. So I'm excited to share that with you guys. And I got a couple things that I really want to like kind of share down the line. That's like really kind of, might surprise you guys out there. For old TreeFall fans, for our fans of our our old properties, our Wii U, people who've been following us since the Wii U days, that is going to be some of the most surprising, I think. As long as we can get it all done by the conference time, because we got to go ahead and get one of them out this year. Usually we do the fall, and sometimes it's like usually around September, October, but I'm kind of wanting to do it a little bit earlier this year. One time it was like maybe the first week in November one year. That was because I think that was the Tilting Tiles launch year, and we launched Tilting Tiles in November that year. But this year I have a little bit more games that I want to talk about, and there's a reason why we're doing a little bit more games than usual. And that's going to be because, well, it's a surprise. I'll be talking about it in the conference, basically. But so I want to do it a little bit earlier than normal because I want to give some of these games marketing lead time so you guys can see them all and they can come out each month and stuff. So yeah. All right, guys, look at this tower. This is absolutely crazy. This is nuts. Okay, we're gonna go up here and we're gonna launch. Oh my gosh, this is like this is crazy. This is wild. This is so much fun. And then yeah, you're like, oh, can't make it. Well, let's see if I can make it over here. This is like having a little bit of trouble. CPU is hitting hot. A little bit of trouble. There's a lot because I haven't optimized this yet. So obviously all of these polygons and stuff are rendering from this maze. It's pretty big. We got to do some work on this to make this better. Oh, dead end. I can't remember. All right, hold on. We're going to cheat. We're going to cheat. Where are we? You guys can't do this in the game. Sorry. Yeah, that's a dead end, so we got to go the other way. Yeah, for part of this design was, let's unpause it, not unplay it. Part of this design was about making it pretty easy because the dead end path on this side was pretty short. So you were going to find it out real quick that that was a dead end path. But then you still have to choose whether or not it's this one or this one. So then, yeah, this is going to be some serious mazing for you. This should be the dead end, I think. I should to debug this. I should run up my speed. Or is this all the way through? Yeah, this should be the one through, and then this should be the opposite. Yep, I remembered my design. Let's go. And then yeah, you got to go around the outside. It's gonna be a little secret out there. The other way is gonna dead end, And then this should mostly be like just a walk around the park. One of these is a dead end. That one. Yeah, this is pretty simple puzzle solving, guys. You guys will be able to figure it out pretty easy. Because on like this is still one of the earlier mazes. Like there's not too many branching paths. Basically, the design of this level is like there's like two paths you can take like every time, and then from there, one of them's a dead end pretty quickly. Then you can go take the other one. But let's launch up here. Let's keep going. This is like I just need to call this level the climb. This is like the tower. This reminds me of you guys play Crash Bandicoot on PS1. Um, what is that level called? Slippery Climb. Yeah, just where you just keep going up. But yeah, so this is crazy, dude. This is so tall. I can't even believe this is all rendering. If you fall, like, look at how much of a fall this is all the way down. Yeah, gliders still work. We didn't break the physics on that speed, so that's good. Wow, this is cool. This is going to be a really cool level, very unique. And we're going to do another ring. So when you look at this from the outside, it's going to be like on the hub world model, it's going to be like a giant spinning kind of tower, similar to like a design in Xenoblade 2 around the world tree kind of thing. Like their space little machine thing, similar to that. So yeah, it's going to be pretty cool. Let's get a couple of these comments here. Space My Name says, I've really been enjoying learning more about professional game dev. I've always been a hobbyist, but it's cool to hear from someone with firsthand experience. Yeah, it's interesting when you say professional game dev, because I'm like, professional. I'm like, okay, I don't really still feel like a professional. I mean, I make money at it and it is my job. So you can say it's professional game dev. And like we were talking about earlier today, there's a lot of stuff on the business side where it is a business. I'm running a business. But when you say professional, it feels like, wow, is that me? I don't know. I'm sure Thomas feels the same way. It's like, wow, I'm a professional. Put my little SpongeBob name tag on, and be like, I don't know about this. But yeah, so I'm glad you've been enjoying the streams. I'm glad you've been hanging out. It's been a lot of fun getting to chat and know you guys and answer questions and just work on game development together. So this is going to be pretty cool. This scene is going to be really awesome when it's all done. I don't have time to stop working on this game to not show it on stream and start here tomorrow. So tomorrow, when you guys see this, it's probably going to be done, to be honest. We'll probably be on the next level, so you guys won't get to see the end. And that's actually pretty good, because if you want to play the game yourself, you won't be spoiled, and you won't know the level solution. That way you guys can play the game yourself and have fun. So this level's going to be done by tomorrow morning, that's for sure. And we're going to be starting Maze 4 tomorrow. So thank you guys for tuning in. Let's go ahead and do our wrap up. I don't know what we got down here. This is YouTube videos, game development stuff. But we got to go over our Patreon subscribers first. If you haven't heard, we do have a Patreon page. It helps us bring in extra income. And with that being said, I got to give a personal shout out to some of our subscribers. I got to give a personal shout out to Carmen Red, Overhyped Gamer, Shark and Minnow, and PLP. Thank you guys for what you do for TreeFall Studios on Patreon.com. If you guys are interested in checking out the page, you want to support the channel, help us make more games, it helps fund our game development basically, and YouTube videos like this. You can find the links in the description below for the Patreon page. The tiers are $1, $3, and $5 a month, so pretty cheap, and you get shout outs, names in the credits of the games, behind the scenes posts and stuff, and demos of the games and stuff like that. So yeah, you guys can check that out. If you guys want to hang out and learn more and talk more in Discord, hang out with other TreeFall members, get more of our news updates, you can jump in our Discord with links below, and you can follow us on Twitter. It's over here somewhere flashing along the screen. We're on Twitter at TreeFall Games. We post all of our major updates on Twitter, but things have been changing so much on Twitter and all the social medias. I'm not really liking them all that much, to be honest. So I'm kind of like starting to funnel people towards the Discord, because not only do we have like personal chats in the Discord, I post all the links to the YouTube videos I post in there. There's links to all of our games, so you can find them to buy it in there, and the different channels and stuff like that. And we have an announcement channel where we post news and stuff. So if you guys want to keep up with us, you can follow us on Twitter, but Discord is also starting to be an easy place to follow us and get news. So do that as well. And obviously on this YouTube channel, we post news videos. I post a lot of like game development videos, devlogs, and stuff like that. New devlog series is coming up. So I'm gonna run the live series for while we're working on Maze. I'm gonna do the live dev series like this on Maze, and then when we're done with Maze, we're gonna go back to Pitterpot, and then the devlog series. The high level overview, 5 to 10 minute videos of like weekly updates is gonna be on the Perplexing Orb Touch, I believe. That's gonna be the next one for devlogs. So those are coming up soon. But I have a full-time game dev videos, a couple like game dev videos first before the devlogs are coming up. So there's going to be a mix of TreeFall and game development content coming on the channel over the next couple of weeks. Just got to get it all filmed and done, but I'm kind of heavy working hard on the game at the moment. I'm trying to hit a deadline. So some of the videos are getting pushed back a little bit. So you're just going to have to suffer along with the streams, and that'll be it. But if you're new to the channel, you like streams like this, you like game development content, you like indie games, this is the place for you. We are on the road to 1,500 subscribers, so be sure to hit that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed. Smash the like button on this video because it'll help more people find this video, and YouTube will think, oh, there must be something special about this video. Maybe we'll share it. Who knows? So if you guys are new to the channel, go ahead and smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, help us get here for 1,500. Once we do that, we are going to be launching a special live stream, doing some giveaways, some celebrations. And I think once we get past that, you'll just be on the road to 5,000. Just forget all the other milestones, 2,500, 3,000. We'll be just going for 5,000 subs. Well, maybe my new education video will go viral because everyone is kind of confused about whether or not they should go to college. So we'll see. Maybe that'll do good. Let me grab a couple comments here before I let the in the stream. Space My Name says, it's your full-time job and you made money. You're more of a pro than I am. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. But don't sell yourself short. You can do it too. And he says, Pitterpot hype. Yeah, I'm pretty excited when we get back to Pitterpot. That's going to be the long stream game. The development cycle on Maze is going to be a whole lot shorter. We'll be done with it faster. And Pitterpot's going to be a longer development series. And we're going to be live streaming most of all of that. So it's going to be like, modeling, texturing, level design, programming, enemy design, level placement, music creation, sound effects, that kind of thing. Probably do a ton of it. So it's just going to be crazy. It's going to be fun. So if you guys are ready, we're just going to keep doing these dev streams. Another thing to mention, we hit our highest milestone again yesterday on YouTube watch time. So I think we can do it. I think if I keep streaming this much and we keep just pumping out the content like this, I think this year we will be YouTube partnered. So you can help us get there by subscribing to the channel and liking this video. But all right, guys, that's going to do it for me today. That's a long outro. I had fun chatting with you guys, talking about all sorts of game development stuff. Hope you guys are looking forward to more TreeFall Studios content coming soon. Our game's coming soon. Can't wait to get this game in you guys' hands so you can play it and check it out. And with that being said, I will catch you in the next video. See you guys.